prelims, one can go through the answer copies of previous year's topper.
So if you know that you're terrified of something, start early in that.
That okay, I'll take 45 minutes even to answer one question. When to start, right? So what is the ideal time that yes, we need to start, even before prelims or after prelims?
I think before prelims, one can go through the answer copies of previous year's toppers, see how they are writing, and you can try practicing some answers. But in the form of mock test series, I would only recommend after the prelims.
So I started writing answers, I think 4 months after my preparation began. So in 4 months, I was able to cover 70-80% of syllabus 1 reading of it, not very extensive reading. But after that, I knew that, okay, these are 15-20 areas that I've completely done in last 4 months. So that is where I started writing 2-3 answers a day. So because I was personally terrified of mains answer writing and I felt uncomfortable in doing that, so I started a little early. So I think based on a person's understanding of it, we should start. So if you know that you're terrified of something, start early in that. Same goes for mock test of prelims and mains. So I started somewhere around November, December. I started in July, so I started writing answers in November, December, wrote for 3-4 months and then shifted to prelims completely. And after prelims, I did extensive answer writing. Every day I used to write 5-7 answers, apart from the test that I wrote 3rd, 4th day after prelims.
So the answers both of you wrote, it was time bound, or you just, let your knowledge flow that, okay, I'll take 45 minutes even to answer one question?
I would say before prelims, when you're doing answer writing practice, it can be without time limits, but then also not 40-45 minutes. And once the mock test series has been joined, the best thing would be to strictly limit yourself to the time limit. In case it is taking 10-20 minutes more, you should mention it on the paper so that you are aware at least that I have taken more time and I need to speeden up the thing.
Very similar. Like when I just started writing answers, 2-3 months I did not care so much about time, but then okay, I limited it to like 10 markers, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes maximum. But once I was done with prelims, there was always a clock that was there. And every time I took extra time, especially in my forum mains test series also, I used to mention that, okay, so there was a penalty mark that was there in my mark sheets.
So both of you were part of, test writing, right? Test series. So in the test series itself, you did the value addition, or you straight away went to the war and just, okay, you scribble in the paper?
So in my first attempt, I started with those subjects, those sectional papers which coincided with prelims, so that at least I would have something to write, because I wanted to start answer writing practice, but I did not have very good notes to write them with. So I would start with polity or geography, which are or history, which is relatively static, and I have covered it in prelims. But as time went on, I started making my notes, and then I would, before attempting any paper, I would make sure that I have my notes ready, I'm revising it, and then attempt.
I think again very similar, that since I was writing from a little bit earlier time, so I had 1-page notes for a very good amount of syllabus for GS at least. So I attempted those sectional tests first where I was comfortable, history, geography, polity, these areas. And especially for current affairs part, I did more sectional tests so that I could cover more part of it. And then I started writing the comprehensive test. So once I had 4 different files of 100-150 sheets of GS 1, 2, 3, 4, I made it a point that every time I write a test, a comprehensive test, I would revise the entire file and then go and write the test and then add value from the questions that have been asked. So that is how I updated my content and wrote and revised again and again.
So you practiced more and more of test series, and then you did value addition, and then you went to the war, right? Okay. So if I talk about the presentation part, so you followed the paragraph portion or the point format?
Point format. I was good in point format.
Yes.
So the IBC, the introduction, the body, and finally the conclusion. Okay. So if I talk about the add-ons in answers, so what did you do? Like current affairs, quotes, diagrams?
It can be facts, some statistics can be answered. Current affairs, if there is something going on, then usually the question has been asked from that perspective only. So it is, if you're not mentioning that, so you're missing the point of the question. So current affairs certainly. Then map can be added or diagrams can be used. For static things like history, I would say that make it a point to add some factual information. If there is a question about, say, what has been the contribution of Subhash Chandra Bose. So rather than just writing that he participated or he fought for women rights, mention some organization that he was.
Okay, the facts should reflect in the beginning itself.
In the beginning also and in the body also. So that becomes value addition, because otherwise for history we don't have those kind of things.
Because we lack maps in history specifically. Okay, pointing to location we can very well put forward. So what about you? You made diagrams in the answers?
Very much. I made a lot of diagrams in my copies because whenever I used to make notes also, I used to draw diagrams out of my laziness.